All right, get ready for a fascinating deep dive because you've brought us an intriguing article today titled Phuket Property, a
All right.
Golden Investment Opportunity.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, let's make sure we're all on the same page with the name. It's pronounced Phuket. Okay, Phuket. We'll be using that pronunciation throughout. Now, this isn't just some general overview. This article comes directly from Ocean Worldwide.
Hmm.
They're a luxury real estate agency, and importantly, they've been based right there in Phuket since 2004.
Wow, since 2004. That's quite a long time on the ground.
Exactly. Nearly 2 decades of specific experience in that region. And Sandra O'Neill, she's the director there. Apparently, she's helped literally thousands of families and investors over the years.
That kind of track record speaks volumes.
It does. And their focus is very clear. Luxury residential real estate, mainly in Phuket and also Koh Samui.
Yeah, and that's what makes this source particularly valuable, I think. It's coming from an agency with, like you said, deep specialized roots right in the market we're talking about, that long presence, that focus on luxury homes. It means we're getting insights from the real core of the Phuket property scene, not just a surface level look.
Precisely. So, our mission today. Let's unpack the pros and the cons of investing in property in Phuket, at least as this article presents them. We really want to dig into why the author thinks the advantages, well, outweigh the drawbacks right now, especially with some big changes coming up. So by the end of this deep dive, you should feel hopefully incredibly well informed about this pretty unique market. Okay, let's explore this then. The article starts by laying out the sort of compelling reasons why Phuket has always attracted investors. One of the first things it really zeroes in on is the tourism sector. It's incredibly robust, right?
Absolutely.
And that's not just about pretty beaches. It directly fuels demand for rental properties, makes vacation homes, villas very appealing for income.
Right, and the article helps frame this. It's not just a passing fad. Phuket isn't just any tourist spot. It's consistently called Thailand's top resort destination. So this steady flow of often high-end visitors, that creates a kind of foundational stability, especially for the luxury property market. That's key for long-term thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Building on that, the article also points to the island's growing expat community. It's got this international appeal, attracted a diverse group of expatriates. How do you see that impacting the market differently than, say, just tourism?
Well, a strong expat community, it often signals more than just short-term rental needs. It points towards, a high quality of life, excellent amenities, reliable infrastructure. These are things crucial for long-term property appreciation. It means the market isn't just riding on tourists, but also on stable long-term residents. It adds a whole different layer of resilience, both for rentals and sales, especially for the kind of luxury homes Ocean Worldwide deals in.
Got it. Okay, so beyond that demand from tourists and expats, what about just living there, the quality of life? The article mentions world-class amenities, doesn't it?
It does.
It highlights 4 world-class marinas, an amazing 13 international schools.
13, wow.
Yeah, and just a whole lot of luxury options, high-end shopping, fancy restaurants, leisure stuff.
And this is where the article really builds the case for that luxury segment, I think. These aren't just, nice to have. They're essential infrastructure that sustains a high-end market. They attract and keep the kind of residents looking for a luxury lifestyle, which directly feeds demand for the properties Ocean Worldwide focuses on. It makes Phuket a place to live, not just visit.
Right. And then, of course, there's the obvious draw. The climate, the natural beauty, year-round warmth, amazing beaches, tropical forests. It's pretty idyllic.
Can't argue with that.
Plus, its location, strategically in the Andaman Sea, makes it a great base for exploring nearby islands.
Yeah, that strategic location point is easy to overlook, but it's actually quite significant. It positions Phuket as more than just a holiday island. It's like a regional hub, which definitely broadens its appeal to a wider range of people, including high net worth individuals and those looking for a more permanent base.
Okay, so we've covered some really compelling advantages there, but like any big investment, there are always, things to consider. Potential downsides. The article seems pretty upfront about these too. First up, regulatory restrictions. Foreigners apparently face certain legal hurdles, especially with owning land directly in Thailand.
Yes, that's a critical point for any foreign investor looking at Thailand. But what's important is how the article handles it. It doesn't just raise the problem, it immediately talks about viable solutions, things like leasehold agreements or maybe buying through a Thai company structure. It suggests it's a complexity, sure, but one that's navigable, especially you'd assume with the kind of local expertise an agency like Ocean Worldwide with that long history would offer. They'd know the ins and outs.
Okay, that makes sense. Then there are market fluctuations. Since it relies heavily on tourism, Phuket's property market could be sensitive to, say, global economic downturns or shifts in travel patterns.
And here the article stresses adopting a long-term perspective. It's not painting Phuket as a place for, quick flips. It's framed more as a strategic play. The idea is that the strong underlying demand tourism, expats, provides a robust enough foundation to sort of ride out short-term bumps. It requires patience, foresight.
Right. And finally, competition. Phuket is hugely popular. That means some areas can get really competitive, right? It could drive up prices, make it hard to find genuinely good deals.
Definitely. And this specific challenge, it really highlights the value of having deep local knowledge, established connections. It's exactly what an agency like Ocean Worldwide, leveraging those decades of experience, brings to the table for its clients. They'd be better placed to spot maybe undervalued opportunities or see the real value in a market that might look overheated on the surface.
But here's where the author makes a really interesting pivot. The article argues that despite these challenges, the balance is currently tipping pretty decisively towards investing. It makes a strong case that Phuket is right on the verge of some major infrastructural developments that are going to boost its appeal even more.
Yeah, this is the core of what the article calls the golden window argument. It points to very specific, very tangible things happening, like a major new international airport planned for Phenga nearby, which will massively increase capacity. And that's alongside expanding the current Phuket airport, too. So it's like a double boost in accessibility, which should directly translate to more tourism and therefore sustained real estate demand.
That seems logical. More access usually means more people, more
Yeah.
demand. Yeah. And then there's healthcare, world-renowned healthcare coming with a new five-star international hospital by Bumrungrad, 150 beds.
This isn't just about medical tourism, is it? Feels like it adds another layer of appeal for people actually living there long term. You're exactly right. That kind of top-tier infrastructure, especially in healthcare and, as mentioned before, education, it fundamentally changes a place's appeal beyond just vacations. It turns it into a really viable destination for long-term living, retirement, maybe a base for families. It shows a commitment to high living standards, which is super attractive for that luxury residential market.
So the article kind of wraps up by framing these upcoming improvements not just as signs of growth, but as a real transformation, one that's likely to lead to significant increases in property values and investment returns down the line. It really paints the current moment as this unique golden window for investors. The time, it suggests, is basically now. So reflecting on our deep dive into this article, Phuket Property, a golden investment opportunity, we've seen how it highlights this core balance, right? On one hand, the strong foundation, Phuket's huge tourism draw, the growing expat community, those world-class amenities, the amazing climate, the strategic location.
hmm And while the challenges, the regulations, market swings, competition, they're definitely real, the article lays out how they can be managed through things like leaseholds or just having that long-term view. And crucially, it keeps coming back to that golden window idea, specifically pointing to those big infrastructure projects. The new Phenga International Airport, the Phuket Airport expansion, plus that new five-star Bumrungrad Hospital with 150 beds. These aren't vague promises, they're concrete developments expected to directly drive up property values and returns. It signals a pretty significant potential shift.
Thinking about all this, what aspects of Phuket's property market really stood out to you, or maybe even surprised you, especially getting these insights from a specialized agency like Ocean Worldwide?
Well, considering Phuket's ongoing development and its already strong appeal, makes you think, doesn't it?
Mhm.
How might understanding these specific local nuances, the kind of deep knowledge a specialized agency like Ocean Worldwide, with its luxury focus and long history, provides, how might that change how you look for opportunities anywhere in the world? Looking beyond just the big headlines. It really underscores the power of genuine, on-the-ground, expert knowledge in niche markets.
That's a fantastic thought to leave things on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep that curiosity going, and we'll catch you next time.